What I'm going to give you is something that is so absolutely important, so absolutely vital, that if you take it and you apply it to every aspect of your life, every single aspect of your life, you will improve your life. In fact, you will make your life 100% better. Hi, and welcome to Healyourself Therapies. This week, I want to talk about something that's a little bit different, but I think it's important. The other day, I was asked by a friend, what made you stop doing videos for Jehovah's Witnesses, for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and for Jehovah's Witnesses as well? What made you stop? And when I thought about it, I realized that I stopped for a very specific reason. The reason is this. What I discovered was that the world of the ex-Jehovah's Witness on YouTube, for example, that world is filled with very specific people who are going out to disprove that the Jehovah's Witnesses are valid as a religion. Okay, so you'll see videos with them with the watchtower, and they're going through and they're quoting and saying how ridiculous this is, or they're talking about what's in publications, or they're talking about what the society's doing and where they're spending their money and how they're hiding from these paedophile claims that are happening. Okay, and all of that's valid and that's great. But that was never ever my motivation. And this is the key part of it. What I remember when I was interviewed by a guy who has been for years promoting the falsehood of the Jehovah's Witness organization. He was an elder. And what I found was that I was interviewed by him, and it was when I had just written my book. And he was asking me questions. Tell us, what was your experience like? And how I was answering was to say, well, it wasn't a great experience, but what I found, and this is what I've done, and this is how I overcame it, and this is what I'm doing to try and improve myself. And he kept stopping me and saying, yes, but tell us how bad it was. Okay? And I was thrown by that because I didn't want to talk about how bad it was. It's obvious it was bad. It was horrible. Okay, but selfishly wanting to protect myself, I do not want to wallow in that kind of mentality. And this is the point of this video. Okay, the point of this video is, what I'd like to do is I'd like to explain to you what you can do to avoid wallowing in that place. And it's a specific place. And what I'm going to give you now, and you may have already heard it, but maybe not in this way. What I'm going to give you is something that is so absolutely important, so absolutely vital, that if you take it and you apply it to every aspect of your life, every single aspect of your life, you will improve your life. In fact, you will make your life 100% better. Okay, now it's a bold statement, but it's true. Because I know, because I've done it and I've used it and I've helped other people to do that and I've watched people doing it, and it always ends up good. What is it? What that guy who was interviewing me was suffering from was being stuck in the process of loss. Okay? He had lost something in his life. What had he lost? Probably 20 to 30 years of his life dedicated to a false religion. He had lost his belief. He had lost his happiness. He had lost a lot of things. Okay? And he'd probably lost members of his family, and he'd probably lost a lot of friends. So he was going through loss. Now, the classic system of loss, the steps of loss, never change. They're always the same. The very first step of loss, whether you're losing your keys, whether you're losing your health, whether you're losing your wife, your partner, whether you're losing your religion, okay, or whether you're losing your beliefs, it doesn't matter. It's a process of loss. Loss goes like this. Number one, disbelief, denial. We all go through it and we say, it can't be true. It can't be true. It's impossible. It can't be the case. And so we deny it. Now, denial is very short-lived. Some people live in denial. The river in Egypt. Some people live in denial, but very typically it's short-lived. The reason that people live in denial is because of the cognitive dissonance issue that we have, which we're not going to get into. But typically denial doesn't last very long, because look, you chop your foot off, right? You chop your foot off and you say, my God, it can't be true. It's impossible. I can't have. Yes, I have. All right. Denial doesn't last very long. I've lost my keys. I can't have lost my keys. They were here. They're not here. You're having to get the bus to work. Denial is over. All right. So denial really doesn't last very long. Okay. The two steps after denial, and they're actually interlinked. They're one step, but it just depends on where you are. That is anger, depression. Anger and depression. They're the two next steps. So you've accepted that it's happened. Oh, for God's sake, I have chopped my foot off. Or for God's sake, this is a load of crap, this religion. For God's sake, my wife's cheating on me. Okay? This is when you accept it and you go into anger stroke depression. Some people prefer anger, some people prefer depression. Some people go between the two. And they say, I'm very angry, but now I'm very depressed. Okay? Now that is the problem. That is the problem area. Why? Because although denial is very limited and it doesn't last very long, anger and depression can last the rest of your life. The rest of your life. And I hear it over and over again. I'll never forgive myself for what I did. I'll never forgive them for what they did. Okay? That is, I am stuck in depression and anger. I know somebody who was an elder in the Jehovah's Witness organization for a lot of years, and then he left, and he became when he was an elder, he was a passionate elder, and he was hey, all singing, all dancing. And when he left, he became an angry ex-elder, and he still is now. He's still stuck in the religion. He's just on the opposite side, the yang of the yin. He's like the other side of the reflection. He's just the same, and he's angry as hell. And he's stuck there, and he will never get out of it unless he understands the steps. Okay? So, if you find yourself stuck in angry and depressed, and I'm not just talking about leaving a religion, I'm talking about anything that's happened in your life. If you are angry and depressed, and or both, then that means you're stuck. What is a decent time to be angry and depressed? I don't know. It depends on the enormity of the problem, but you must go through it. You must go through it. Don't try and skip it. Don't think, oh no, I'm going to be really zen. No, you have to go through that. That's part of the loss. But you don't have to go through that for the rest of your life. Why? Because the next step is absolutely key. The next step is this one. The next step is acceptance. Now, that's not like where denial you go, oh well, it has happened. No, now I'm going to get effing angry. That's not that. The acceptance part is acceptance stroke forgiveness. Okay? And that's where you say, all right, it happened now. Now, I'm choosing to let this go. It happened, but I've decided I'm not going to let it ruin my life. It happened, but I am going to forgive the situation because I don't want to drag it around with me for the rest of my life. That's what the acceptance is. The acceptance that, yeah, it happened, and very important, it happened and it was completely unacceptable. There is nobody in the world that could say to me, being a Jehovah's Witness is completely acceptable. I would say to them, I'm sorry, you're wrong. And I've got to the acceptance. I've accepted it. But acceptance is not saying it was okay. Acceptance is saying it happened. It happened. Now, for example, the expression, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. Why? Because a problem, this is right, the people who are stuck in depression and anger, right? They are facing this way, toward the past. They're facing this way. They're actually doing this, look. They're walking through the life, right, toward the future, but they're facing backwards. And they're angry, and they keep looking back and looking back. Look what they did, look what they did, look what they did. Okay? When you accept, you're able to do this. When you accept it and you say, hey, it was awful, but that's done now. And you turn around and you face the future. Okay? That's the solution part. That's the problem. Here's the solution. The solution is to go forward with your life and to leave that behind. To cut the ties. To cut the ties. And how do you cut the ties? Well, you cut the ties by forgiving. You forgive the person and understand. I've done videos on forgiveness. Forgiveness is not saying it's okay. Forgiveness is not saying what you did was acceptable. Absolutely not. Definitely not. It was unacceptable. If they have hurt you for whatever reason, if that situation has hurt you, it was unacceptable. Okay? So let's not mix, we're not dealing with eggs and eggs here. When you forgive the situation or you forgive the people, what you were saying is this. You were saying, I am forgiving you selfishly. I'm forgiving you because I need to let this go. And I need to turn around and face the future. And I need to move forward in my life. And until I let you go, until I forgive that situation, then I can't move forward. Because you see, when you don't forgive, you're facing the wrong way, but also you're dragging it with you. You're dragging it with you. Ask anybody who's stuck in anger and depression, and you say to them, the problem you've got, show me where it is in your visual field. Show me where it is. Right? And I do this very often with people, and they say, it's here. Okay? They have it here. And you say, show me somewhere, where'd you point to 20 years ago, and they go, oh, 20 years ago, oh, it's way back there. Just point to 10 years ago, still back there. Point to yesterday, yesterday, right? But a problem 40 years ago, where do you keep that problem? They go, it's here, like I see it all the time. It's massively in the visual field. So it doesn't matter how much time you put in between it. If you're carrying it here, you're buggered, absolutely buggered. So you do a little check and the problem that you've got, if you have one, or the anger that you feel toward the Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever, you find out where that is. Where's that? Where do you see it? Point to it. I get people to point to it and they go, just here, like mega, life size, big, colour, video, horrible. No wonder you feel like shit if it's here. When people go, it's just in my face, I was like, in my face, they're not joking. They're literally telling you where they keep it. Yeah? That man's so in my face because they've got him here. And do you know all you have to do? You send it off. You send it out as far as you can. You put it to the place That you keep the things that you're not bothered about. What about the people that you don't care about? Oh, they're over there. Put that over there. That's what you do. Okay, so let's get back to the steps. So you get to acceptance and forgiveness. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is not, I'll just let it go. No, you know it was wrong, but you were being selfish. You are ready to cut the ties. You cut the ties and you forgive it. Right? The people who do the bad, they've got to deal with their own karma. They're going to have to deal separately. This is not about you helping them. You are not helping them. Trust me. And lots of times when we do this, when we cut, the person actually feels it and they don't feel good about it. They feel worse. Very, very, very common. I've had times when I've done this closing session, forgiveness, letting go, sending off, and the very next day, the person who they let go calls them and says, or even the same day, and says, hey, I'm just phoning to see, is everything all right? I just had a funny feeling. Happens loads of times. Those people will have to deal with their shit, their sins. They have to deal with them. What you have to deal with is how you feel and your own power. And when you forgive and you let go, you take back your power. Does that make sense? You take back your power. Because all of it's happening inside of you. All this bad feeling is happening inside of you. The man who interviewed me couldn't get out of anger, and anger really it was. He was trapped. He was in prison. The witnesses were still keeping him in prison. He didn't know it, but it was the truth. He was stuck in prison. And so we have to release ourselves. We have the key. Nobody is trapping us in our prison. Nobody. We are doing it. We've locked the door. And so with forgiveness and acceptance, we can open the door. We open the door and we step out and we are free. And then there's one more step. And this step is the Zen step. This step is the road to a beautiful life. So you've freed yourself up. Right? All of that's in the past now, and you watch and it starts to get further and further away as you let it go, because you're moving forward. And the past is in the past now, exactly where it should be. And then the last step is learning from it. Okay? And this step is the beautiful step. This is where you say to yourself, it happened. I've let it go now. So what have I learned from that? What have I learned about myself, about other people, and what have I learned about life so that it's going to help me going forward? Okay, this in therapy terms is classed as the future pace. All right, it's a mix of future pace. But you're pacing yourself into the future and you're saying, what have I learned from this? How has this made me into a better person? Or how can this make me into a better person? What can I do and be and think based on what I've learned here that will make me into a better person? And that is something that you do in meditation. You do it by just sitting and thinking. That is the beautiful moment. And we can only get there, we can only learn from it when we've let it go. If not, it's like a thorn in the side, it's irritating us all the time. We let it go, we heal. And the last part of the healing is the learning from it. Yeah? Those steps are the steps to beautiful spiritual, mental and physical health. They're the steps. And it happens in every single thing in your life. We are constantly going through stages of loss. We lose, our children leave home, we separate, we lose our job, we change our job, we change our house. All of these are stages of, we go through loss, and we go through the same thing. But when you understand the steps, and you understand, when you know and you say, oh my God, I'm stuck in anger and depression. What what do I have to do to get out of this place? And that's the most common place to be stuck in, you know what? It's the most common place. It's anger and depression. Look, how many people do you know that talk about being depressed? I've been depressed. Oh man, I'm so depressed. I'm so angry. I'm so angry that I'm depressed. Yeah, I'm depressed that I'm so angry. That's where the majority of people are, and that's only because they don't know that there are 2 steps ahead, and that to get out of anger and depression, all they have to do is to forgive and to let it go, to release themselves, and then just to learn. Okay, so those are the steps, and that is why I don't do videos on the Jehovah's Witnesses anymore. The reason is because I am no longer in the anger place. I was, when I wrote the book, I was very angry. But I've since got through that. I'm now in a place where I've learned from it, and I understand how that experience has made me into a better person. I am a better person for it. You hear people say that. Well, actually, I'm a better person for that now. That's the place. That's nirvana. That is, I actually now understand why I went through that, and I understand now how I can lead my life forward in a beautiful way. All right. I don't resonate with the angry, depressed people, but I do help them. I work with people who are going through that. I can work with people who are going through that because I've been through it myself, and because I've also come out the other side. If I were in there with the angry and depressed people, I wouldn't be able to work with them because I would just be resonating the same as them. I would be saying the same things. And that's what's happening lots of times, that the people who are doing videos for people who are angry and depressed, and the people doing the videos are angry and depressed. And so they're all together just going round, like stirring the pot. That's not how we're going to get out of this. It's good to do your bit. You've got to go through that. But please don't spend 10 years of your life talking about how angry and depressed you are about it. Don't spend 10 years of your life talking about how bad the Jehovah's Witnesses are. Spend your time, get through it, and spend your time helping other people to get through it as well. Because we have a big job to do on this earth, and our job is not to be angry and depressed. Our job is to get to the other side and to help. That's, if you want to get to heaven, or to whatever it is that you want to get, you want to clean your karma up. How you do that is by helping other people. And the only way you can do that is by getting your shit sorted. Get your shit sorted, and then start helping other people. And I promise you, helping other people when you're in a better place is the best thing that you can do with your life. It gives you the most pleasure and the most reward. And it sets you a place on the right hand side of God, in my opinion. Okay, or I believe in reincarnation, so I'll be coming back, but it's going to sort your karma out. It's going to sort out a lot of karma. Okay, all right, so there you are. I'll leave that with you. Please add your comments and let me know whether you think I am right, I'm wrong, or maybe I've missed something. Okay, bye.